All right, so out of nowhere, pretty randomly, The Ringer dropped their top 100 NBA player rankings 2 days ago. So I thought, hey, let's react to this list. Let's see who they had where, and let's see if we have any gripes with it. I only got one thing spoiled for me. Just listening to Bill Simmons' podcast, I think Julius Randle was pretty low in the 90s. So we'll talk about that. If there is an excerpt, that would be nice. Okay, so it's going to be regularly updated, and it's ranking the top 100 players, making the biggest impact on the league right now. So we'll see who's where. They have League Pass player rankings as well, trade value rankings coming soon. But right now we're going to react to their top 100. We've done this before with Bleacher Report, ESPN, some other outlets as well. If you guys enjoy these videos, feel free to drop a thumbs up. And okay, it starts at 100 or at 1. Let's go down to 100. And we'll work our way up from this. So at number 100, we have DeAndre Hunter. It's going to be way too hard to really say if this is too high or too low at the moment, just because I have no idea who's in front of them, and we'll see who is left off the list. They don't really have any honorable mentions, but they do have a nice analysis. It really is a very cool concept. They have their awards here where they were drafted. I like this. This is a very cool interface, definitely. We have Derek White at 99. Derek White or DeAndre Hunter, who would you have right now? It's tough because DeAndre Hunter does have his injury past, but I think he's an incredible defender. I mean, his ceiling is still so much higher. He's already 25 because he was a little bit older coming out of Virginia, okay? Grant at 98, the way he's playing right now, I'd probably have him a little bit higher, but we'll get into this. Koyo Lennox had a nice season for the Utah Jazz. Tobias Harris at 96. He's kind of fallen off a little bit. Now, if they were making the same amount of money, I'd probably still take Tobias Harris over Grant Williams. But where they are right now, you'd rather have Grant. I'm sure that will go into the whole trade value rankings there. John Collins at 95. Wow. I mean, I guess his impact right now, and that's what they're going off of. Yeah, he hasn't been doing too much for the Hawks this year since the addition of DeJounte Murray. His usage rate has plummeted. His field goal attempts have gone down. So that makes a little bit of sense. We have Jonas Valanciunas at 94. That seems fairly low for Jonas. Maybe not making the biggest impact because there's guys like Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Trey Murphy, CJ McCollum, also there in New Orleans. Maybe a little bit more exciting. Does seem low. Kyle Lowry at 93. Damn. Cam Johnson, who recently got hurt, at 92. Julius Randle at 91. Okay, if we're going off impact right now, Randle's got to be higher. I'm the biggest Randle criticizer, but he's been playing well for the Knicks this year. Like, I can't even deny that as somebody that doesn't love Randle as a player. I don't like what he does on defense, but what he's done on offense has been exceptional for the Knicks this year. He's improved much from his 2022 season. That was really abysmal. Don't love the contract, but in this day and age, it's not terrible. Mathurin at 90, Norm Powell at 89, Vooch at 88. A lot of players that have Randle higher than, because if we're throwing contract kind of out the window with this as well. I mean, Caruso higher than Randle. Clarkson higher than Randle. Okay, Jalen Green's had a nice year, too, for the Rockets. Jordan Poole. I mean, he's been a little bit inconsistent this year, can't you say? All right. Very interesting top 80. Kuzma at 82. That seems low. I'd have Kuzma in front of Wendell Carter Jr. the way he's playing this season. I'd have him in front of Mike Conley as well, who's been hurt to start the year. Interesting top 80. I would say Randle is too low. I would say John Collins is still a little bit low. Maybe Valanciunas. Tobias Harris as well. Anybody that I think is too high... I guess I would say Conley and probably Wendell Carter Jr. just based off the top 80, the way it's constructed. Maybe Caruso is a little bit high, but Caruso is still an incredible defender. All right, so let's do 80 to 60. We have Brogdon at 79, Herter at 78. It's just crazy the amount of talent in this league. Like, Brogdon is insane, especially for his role on the Celtics this year, and he's a big reason why the Celtics are really good. Obviously, Brown and Tatum are the main reasons, but he's right up there as the next best guy, and he's 79. That's crazy. You got Herter, an elite shooter at 78, Dinwiddie at 77, Christian Wood at 76, Clay at 75, Aaron Gordon having one of his best seasons at 74. I don't have any, huge gripes with this. You could say Brogdon's better than Gordon or something like that. Capella might be a little bit high. Is Capella that much of an impactor on his current team, then a Valanciunas, then a Zubats? I don't really think so, but you could disagree as well. But I think Capella is probably a little bit high. Scotty Barnes at 72, maybe not having the sophomore year that he wanted. Bojan Bogdanovic having a nice year for the Pistons, but would you have him in front of Aaron Gordon or Kevin Herter, Malcolm Brogdon, Julius Randle? I don't know. I know Bojan's having a good season for the Pistons, though. Keldon Johnson at 70, McCollum at 69, Al Horford. Do we have a little bit of Celtics bias in here? I know Horford is an impactful player. But you could even have some of the guys down here over Al Horford. I think Al Horford is a little bit too high. I know Kevin O'Connor did this. I know he's a Celtics guy. I don't think Bill Simmons did, who I know is a Celtics guy. But Al Horford might be high. You can let me know if you disagree with me down below. Devin Vassell at 67. Kyrie at 66. Okay. Hero at 65. Miles Turner at 64. Shout out to the season Miles Turner's having. Robert Williams, who I think makes his debut. Is it tonight? He's making it soon. And he comes in at 63. It's tough with the injury because he hasn't played at all this season. Michael Porter Jr. at 62. Franz at 61. Cade at 60. It's weird. I'm trying to gauge where they're having these players or what's going on, because Cade has not been good this season and is going to be out for the year. And if you're making the impact right now, how is Franz not in front of Cade? How are Tyler Hero, who just put up 40 points the other night, not higher than Cade Cunningham? He's making a better impact right now. And if you're saying who's a better player right now, a lot of these players are better than Cade Cunningham right now. Long term, I'm taking Cade. Potential-wise, taking Cade. Ceiling, taking Cade. But Kyle Kuzma, right now, making an impact is better than Cade Cunningham. So this is a very weird ranking at the moment, but it's so tough to make a top 100. I can't critique it too much, or I can't be that annoying, because anybody that makes a top 100, the greatest basketball mind ever, you could put Masai Ujiri, you could put Greg Popovich and Jerry West in a room, and they can make their top 100, and people are going to have problems with it. 59, we have Anthony Simons, been great this year. Fred VanVleet has not been great this year, at least on the offensive end. Coming in at 58, that seems a little bit high for Fred VanVleet. Marcus Smart at 57. I know he's the reigning depoy. Is he a little bit high? I don't know, though. If you're going to say he's a top 5 defender in the league, I'm cool with him being that high. Aiden at 56. He's had his inconsistencies this year. Paolo at 55 already. Maxey at 54. KP at 53. Triple J at 52. Brunson at 51. Chris Paul 50. Okay, so we're not seeing RJ Barrett in this. Let's just have to mention that. Chris Paul's had a very down season so far, so he comes in at 50. But, I mean, Chris Paul is Chris Paul. And if we're taking last couple seasons into effect still, or just... yeah, but looking at those, he deserves to be in the top 50, but this year, he's probably not even a top 100 player at the moment. Brunson's been better than Chris Paul this year. But, yeah, there's some things, players I would think are too high or too low. Miles Turner's had a very good season. I wonder if he still gets traded at the deadline. Jared Allen at 49. LaMelo, who hasn't played much this year, at 48. I think Jamal Murray is a little bit too high. I don't agree with Murray at 47. Could say Anthony Simons. Better player. I'm just saying. Anthony Edwards at 46. Jeremy Grant at 45. Is that a jersey swap? Oh my God, that's disgusting. That's a really bad jersey swap. If it is, right? I don't know. 44, Mikal Bridges. Okay, Mobley at 43. Brook Lopez. Okay, so if we're making an immediate impact right now, okay, this is where I'm confused. Brook Lopez. Top 50 player this year, 100%. He is in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation, having a possibly career year when we thought he did a couple years ago, but he might be having it this year with the Milwaukee Bucks this late into his career, age 34. So yeah, this year, top 50 player. So if we're doing that and not taking past seasons into account, why is Chris Paul this high? Why is maybe Jamal Murray this high? LaMelo Ball even, but he's been hurt, so okay. But some of these guys that have not had great seasons, at least offensively, like Fred VanVleet, Cade Cunningham, they're just a little bit too high. A little bit too high for my liking. I don't know. I disagree with some of this kind of concept at the moment. OG at 41. Levine at 40. I'm just saying Levine has not been a top 40 player this year, in my opinion. Andrew Wiggins at 39. Larry Markkinen at 38. So yeah, we're mainly taking into account this season. So that's where the bottom half of this list kind of confuses me. Sabonis at 37. Beal at 36. Murray 35. Gobert 34. Draymond at 33. I know some people are going to have some problems with that. Bam at 32. Desmond Bane at 31. Kawhi at 30. This season is Kawhi top 30? He's barely on the floor. I don't know. If we're taking injury into account, Kawhi Leonard, when healthy, he's top 10 or at least top 15. But right now, I don't know if I could put him that high and somebody that's going to make an immediate impact when he's probably not going to touch 50 games this season, and he might not have a long-term injury. He's not going to miss 3 weeks maybe going later in the year, but he's going to miss every other game or every 4 games or something like that with load management. Drew at 29, Fox at 28, Garland 27, Middleton 26, Cat at 25. Okay, the top 25 is going to be very interesting. We got James Harden 24, Ingram at 23, DeRozan 22, Tyrese Halliburton at 21. I appreciate that Halliburton love. And Jaylen Brown at 20. That seems kind of low for Jaylen Brown, honestly, because I'm seeing above him is Trae Young. I would have Brown in front of Trae Young if we're being honest. The way they are playing this year. Damian Lillard at 18, Donovan Mitchell at 17, Jimmy Butler at 16. I'd even have Mitchell a little bit higher. I'd probably have him above Jimmy Butler this season. Been the best player on that Cavs team, who are one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. Zion at 15, Siakam at 14. Okay. Would you have Jaylen Brown over Siakam right now? I might put that poll out on my main channel. We got Paul George at 13, Shea at 12. What a season Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is having, making the Thunder very exciting to watch because of Shea. He's the front runner to win Most Improved Player. We have Booker at 11, Ja at 10. That's also a fun debate. Who's better, Ja or Booker? The young guards in the Western Conference. Devin Booker's already 26. That is wild. LeBron at 9, AD at 8. I mean, the way AD's playing this year, you could say he's better than LeBron. I mean, he is also 8 years younger. Joel Embiid at 7. That seems low. I know he's had his injury concerns as well, but when he's on the floor, he is putting up MVP caliber numbers for the Sixers. And Tatum at 6. We're just taking into account this season, 5 better players than Tatum. We got Durant at 5. Okay, you can have Durant in front of Tatum. Tatum's probably the MVP our favorite right now just because of their team success as well. So I'm interested to see who the top 4 is. Like, in my mind, I already know who the top 4 is in some order. Luka. Okay. Like, this season, do you take Tatum and Durant over Jokic? I don't know, though. Jokic is the reigning 2-time MVP, and he's still just an incredible player. I can't believe he's only 27. Luka at 4, we'll have Curry at 2, and Giannis at 1. All right. Like, are we going to have our MVP at number 1? I don't know. We do have our Depoy candidate, Brook Lopez, that high. So, or not at 1, but like at 42, whatever he was. So, this is an interesting list. I think it does have its inconsistencies. And its flaws, but I don't hate a lot of it. I don't. I like where they're tiering players. I like how they value defense. Clearly, they're taking into account this season the most, but it does look like they have some past season success and maybe some hype. Cade Cunningham should not be that high at 60. I'm sorry, he should not be that high if we're taking into account this year right now. I don't think he should be that high. I think maybe guys like Al Horford I mentioned before were a little bit high. I think Clint Capella could be a little bit high as well, depending on what we are valuing. So let me know what you guys think of this down below. Drop a like if you guys did enjoy. I'll catch y'all next one. Peace.